As Cameroon edges closer to the 2025 presidential election, political tensions rise, unity is tested, and calls for responsible leadership echoes across the nation. Hello, and welcome to these stories as reported in the newspapers. Cameroon Tribune reports that the presidents of both legislative chambers, Maxenyat for the Senate and Kavaye Yege Jibri for the National Assembly, jointly condemned verbal violence and divisive rhetoric in their respective speeches during the opening of the second ordinary session of the legislative year on June 10. They urged Cameroonians to remain steadfast in their commitment to national unity and to reject agents of chaos, particularly as the October elections draw near. However, Mefo Plus Santé takes a critical tone, highlighting a glaring omission in Kavaye Yege Jibri's address. Despite ongoing systemic deficiencies and public frustrations over healthcare delivery, the Assembly President failed to mention the issue, choosing instead to focus on electoral preparations, the paper reports. According to L'Oeil du Sahel, only 10.4 billion francs CFA have been allocated by the state to universities in the Grand North over the past 7 years. According to the report, the figure is widely considered insufficient for such a populous and historically marginalized region. Meanwhile, political ambitions are surfacing in the same region. La Météo reveals that discussions are underway for a possible unified presidential candidacy involving northern heavyweights Bello Buba Maigari, Issa Chiroma Bakari, and Gibai Gatama. Mutation focuses on the growing friction between the ruling party and opposition candidate Maurice Kamto of the CRM. Kamto, recently prevented from holding a rally in Douala, returned to Yaoundé to cheering supporters. President Biya, the CPDM's presumed candidate, responded via social media, delivering pointed messages about liberty and democracy, messages that are being scrutinized for sincerity. In an unusually candid letter, La Voix des Jeunes reports that the CPDM Municipal Councillor Leon Tila called on his fellow party members to act urgently to save the CPDM ship from political shipwreck, positioning himself as a potential savior for the ruling party. Innovation reports that the UNDP, historically aligned with the CPDM, is preparing to field its own candidate Bello Buba Maigari, breaking ranks with the ruling coalition. The party congress is slated for June 28 and could mark a significant shift in the balance of alliance as new partnerships with opposition parties are being considered. L'Action released a statement from Jean Kwete, Secretary General of the Central Committee, calling on CPDM party militants to continue preparation for the election without fear, assuring the public that the party remains a shield and arm of peace for President Biya. Eric Chinji, speaking on behalf of the Cameroon New Vision Group, delivers a strong message through the Daily Voice. He urges journalists and influencers to transcend traditional reporting and embrace their role as custodians of truth, especially during the fragile period. Tinje warns that media professionals must play an active part in ensuring the 2025 elections bring about real democratic transformation. In other news, Emergence questions whether the current Bar Association president deserves a second term, reflecting internal debates within the legal profession. In sports, Actu Sports reports that Union de Douala, one of Cameroon's most historic football clubs, is facing relegation from the MTN Elite One League for the first time in its 67-year history, marking the end of an era for Cameroonian football. See you next time when we review the press.